Taurus. This week exposes what you've been emotionally tolerating simply because change felt inconvenient. And once you see it clearly, you cannot unsee it. The Sagittarius full moon activates your deeper emotional terrain. Debts, attachments, emotional contracts, shared responsibilities, trust issues, and energetic imbalance. Something reaches emotional saturation. You may suddenly realize you've been carrying far more emotional labor than the other person involved. Mars in your sign amplifies your reactions this week. You are less patient, less willing to soften your boundaries, and far more aware of how often people expect stability from you while offering chaos in return. That frustration has been building quietly for months. Now the pressure surfaces. This does not necessarily mean explosive conflict. In fact, for many Taurus placements, this week looks colder than loud. A withdrawal, a pause, a subtle emotional distancing where you stop volunteering your energy so freely, and people will notice. Mercury entering Cancer helps you communicate more honestly, but it also sharpens emotional memory. Conversations this week may reconnect you with old wounds, old promises, or unresolved emotional patterns you thought were already behind you. Watch especially for sibling dynamics, neighborhood issues, paperwork stress, transportation disruptions, or emotionally loaded conversations through text and messages. There's also a strange split energy this week, externally calm, internally decisive. People around you may think you're still considering your options when, emotionally, you already made the decision days ago. Midweek brings a realization that changes your emotional trajectory moving forward. It may come through overheard information, a delayed response, or seeing someone behave differently when they think you are no longer watching closely. And here is the truth you need this week. Your loyalty is valuable, but loyalty without reciprocity slowly becomes self-abandonment. By the weekend, you may feel a strong urge to simplify your life emotionally. Fewer explanations, fewer draining obligations, less emotional overextension. You are no longer trying to preserve unstable structures just because they once mattered to you. You are protecting your peace more aggressively now. And honestly, you should.
Taurus, your tarot card is the Queen of Swords. This card brings emotional clarity through truth, not comfort. You are seeing a situation more objectively now, especially in relationships or emotional obligations where you previously kept giving people the benefit of the doubt. The Queen of Swords does not close her heart. She simply refuses to betray her own intelligence for emotional convenience anymore. That energy surrounds you strongly this week. You may speak more directly, tolerate less emotional confusion, and recognize where boundaries are overdue. The important thing is this: clarity may feel colder at first, but it creates peace later.
Taurus, you get hexagram 31, Lake over Mountain, Influence. This week carries subtle emotional magnetism. Conversations, emotions, memories, or quiet interactions influence you more deeply than expected now. But this hexagram is less about control and more about emotional resonance. Someone's energy reveals whether emotional trust still exists beneath the surface. The I Ching advises gentleness rather than emotional defensiveness. You do not need to force emotional certainty immediately. Quiet observation reveals more than pressure this week. What is truly aligned with your spirit will not require emotional performance to remain connected.
Taurus, your rune is Raido. Raido represents movement, alignment, and the deeper meaning behind your current direction. This week asks whether your external path still matches your internal truth. You may feel emotionally pulled toward adjustment, changing routines, conversations, priorities, or long-term plans that no longer feel fully aligned with who you are becoming. The important thing is this: movement does not always require chaos. Sometimes the most important journey begins quietly through a change in perspective. Trust gradual course correction this week instead of forcing certainty all at once.
This week demanded honesty. Not performance, not excuses. Honesty. Some of you saw people clearly for the first time. Some of you saw yourselves clearly for the first time. And while that truth may have hurt initially, it also broke patterns that were quietly exhausting your spirit. Do not run back toward emotional confusion simply because certainty feels uncomfortable. You already know what your instincts have been trying to tell you. Leave a comment below and tell me, what truth became impossible to ignore this week? And if this message resonated with you, subscribe, like the video, and turn on the bell so you don't miss next week's forecast. And remember, watch your rising sign too. Sometimes your rising sign reveals the deeper emotional story unfolding underneath everything else.